complex and sometimes contradictory narrative. This feature delves into the life of Kangleon, exploring the conflicting accounts of his actions and the lingering questions surrounding his wartime experiences. The narrative begins in 1942, with the outbreak of World War II. Kangleon, then a lieutenant colonel, commanded an army detachment in Moncayo, Davao, when General Wainwright issued the order to surrender to the Japanese.
Lieutenant Colonel Wainwright. Subject, surrender. I decided to accept, in the name of humanity, his proposal. You will therefore be guided accordingly, and will, I think will, surrender all troops under your command to the proper Japanese officer.
Col.Kangleon faced a choice: escape and continue fighting or surrender. He chose the latter, citing the necessity of following orders. However, many of his soldiers refused to surrender and sought refuge in the mountains with the Aita people. Kangleon's actions went beyond mere compliance with orders. According to affidavits from guerrillas Celso Veloso and Arturo Labrador, he actively encouraged his men to surrender while en route to the POW camp in Butuan. This behavior raised eyebrows among his former comrades, who questioned his commitment to the resistance. At the Butuan camp, Kangleon's closeness to the Japanese authorities became apparent. He was granted unusual freedom to roam around the camp, and, at the urging of Japanese officials, he retraced his steps from Davao to persuade remaining soldiers to surrender. This behavior, coupled with his appointment as a Japanese Bureau of Constabulary member while in Butuan, further fueled suspicions about his allegiance. Marcos Soliman, a fellow officer in the 81st Infantry, provided a conflicting account. He stated that he and Kangleon initially agreed not to surrender, but Kangleon changed his mind between May 18th and 24, 1942. A month later, Kangleon accompanied a Japanese patrol to capture other soldiers hiding in the upper Agusan Valley, and even attempted to convince his former unit to surrender. On Christmas Day, 1942, 2 prisoners from the Butuan camp were executed. Kangleon, however, managed to disappear. His escape under tight Japanese guard remains a mystery. He eventually resurfaced in southern Leyte, where he presented a fabricated story of being freed by guerrillas during a raid on the prison camp. American historian Elmer Lear, in interviews conducted in 1945, questioned Kangleon's account of his escape. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain unclear, with no evidence to support his claim of a guerrilla raid. Kangleon's arrival in southern Leyte coincided with the presence of several guerrilla groups operating on the island. The Japanese had established a network of informants among the civilian population, but their intelligence gathering efforts were hindered by the guerrillas' deep resentment towards them. Kangleon's area in southern Leyte was relatively safe from Japanese patrols, making it a strategic location for American personnel, arms, and supplies. The Americans had established a Coast Watcher network to gather intelligence on the Japanese. Charles Parsons, an American intelligence officer, sought to establish a new spy network called Spyron to support selected guerrilla outfits. He chose Kangleon as the leader of the Leyte Area Command, despite the suspicions surrounding his past. Despite his initial reluctance, Kangleon accepted the command, promising Parsons he would serve General MacArthur. He had already begun organizing southern Leyte guerrillas, making his escape appear even more suspicious. Parsons, unaware of Kangleon's true history, entrusted him with the leadership of the Leyte Area Command. This decision created friction with other guerrilla leaders, particularly Blas Miranda, who refused to trust Kangleon due to his surrender to the Japanese. Kangleon's authority as guerrilla leader was never formally confirmed until November 1943, when he received his appointment papers. He quickly consolidated his control over southern Leyte, but his relationship with Miranda remained hostile. Col.Kangleon's story presents a complex and controversial figure in Philippine history. While his contributions to the resistance movement are undeniable, his actions during the Japanese occupation raise serious questions about his loyalty and motivations. The conflicting accounts of his surrender, his close ties to the Japanese, and his mysterious escape continue to fuel debate about his true character. Kangleon's legacy remains a subject of ongoing discussion and research. His story serves as a reminder that even national heroes are human beings with complex pasts and motivations. It is essential to critically examine historical narratives, especially those involving figures like Kangleon. experience.